Hey everyone, I'm Jordy, and welcome to the first of 6 boss guides for Sunwell Plateau, Kalecgos. Now, Kalecgos is 2 boss encounters in one. One where you'll fight against Kalecgos in what we'll call the Dragon Realm, and the other against Sathrovar the Corruptor in the Spectral Realm. The goal of the encounter is to damage both enemies equally while keeping the humanoid version of Kalecgos alive in the Spectral Realm. Here's an example of a solid raid composition. I'd recommend some arcane resistance for your first few kills, as it really helps mitigate a fair bit of the damage. So this encounter has 3 main abilities that you'll be dealing with. The first is Arcane Buffet, which deals between 400 and 600 damage every 8 seconds to anyone in the Dragon Realm, and gives a stacking debuff, which increases arcane damage taken. This is the main damaging ability in the Dragon Realm of the fight. This spell can only be fully resisted, which will also prevent a stack of the debuff. The second ability, Spectral Blast, also known as the Portals. A random player in the Dragon Realm is targeted. That player, and anyone within 8 yards, takes 5,000 arcane damage. The targeted player is then sent to the Spectral Realm, and a portal is left at their location, which is usable by other players for about 10 seconds. And finally, Curse of Boundless Agony. While in the Spectral Realm, players will randomly receive a curse from Sathrovar. The curse lasts for 30 seconds and starts out dealing 100 damage per second. The damage doubles every 5 seconds, meaning that the final 5 ticks would hit for about 3,200 damage each. When the curse is removed, it will jump to a new target. On pull, a tank should pull Kalecgos to the back wall and position him perpendicular to the raid. This will make it so both the breath and the tail swipe are aimed out of the fight area, and the melee have an open side of the boss to DPS. Kalecgos will continuously stack that arcane debuff on all players in the Dragon Realm. Random players will also be buffed by wild magic during the Dragon Realm. These effects are outlined in the role sections. Around 15 to 20 seconds in, the boss will send a random player, excluding the current tank, to the Spectral Realm, leaving a portal for others to use. The portal will remain active for around 10 seconds and has a small lockout when clicked by another player. A tank and a couple healers that you've pre-assigned should find the portal and go down immediately, while the DPS assigned also go in with them. Players may need to spam click the portal if it's spawned close enough to be clipped by the dragon model. These portals are cast every 20 to 25 seconds throughout the fight. Alright, handling portals. The raid should be split into 2 different sets of teams, tank/healer teams and DPS teams. Normally according to raid group, as not to lose group synergy. The people who take the portals are according to who was initially sent down. We'll use the group split below as an example. Here you'll see the hunter in group 2 gets ported, and his group follows behind him. Note that we will be using 7 healers for our first clears, and this can reduce the complications with portals. A Holy Paladin can remain in the Dragon Realm for an extended period due to Bubble removing stacks of the Arcane Buffet. Each group having a class that can decurse is preferred, but if the raid comp does not allow that, then you will need to stagger where your druids and mages enter. Now there are many ways of handling the portals. The following worked for us, but is by no means the only way. Here's the cadence of the portal rotation. As the first portal spawns, whoever gets ported calls out their group, and then the tank and healers assigned to portal 1, as well as whatever group the person that got ported is from, entered the portal. Then, when the second person gets ported 20 or so seconds later, that person calls what group they're in, and the group they are in also goes down. The extra tanks and healers skip this second portal. As portal 3 spawns, we go back to tanks and healers entering. The second tank and healers 3 and 4 go down, while the tank up top, preferably a protection paladin who can bubble the stacks and click bubble off to regain threat, sits in tanks. Finally, portal 4 happens, and around this time portal group 1 will have re-emerged from the Spectral Realm, and they can take over dragon duties, while everyone left up top goes down. This continues until you finish the fight. When in the Spectral Realm, it's important that everyone moves close to the humanoid Kalecgos to be eligible for random healing and mana buffs that he provides. The demon also does a shoutout volley, so stacking will make healing the group a lot easier. The tank that goes down should taunt the demon off of Kalecgos when the healers are prepared to handle the incoming damage. Kalecgos will generate threat on the demon and can tank the demon for a large portion of the fight, but he will need relief at times to prevent Sathrvar from killing him. The demon does very high damage, so be sure to use a cooldown prior to taunting and have an armor potion rolling. Don't forget about the ramping curse as well. Decursors should wait until there's between 10 and 15 seconds left on the curse before dispelling. After being within the Spectral Realm for 60 seconds, players will be returned to the Dragon Realm and gain a 60-second Spectral Exhaustion debuff. While this debuff is active, you are ineligible to be ported back down and cannot click to enter a portal as well. Once either boss reaches 10% HP, they will both enrage, dealing increased damage. So the rage should ideally DPS them down evenly before pushing for the kill at 10%. You may have to stop damage in one realm or the other to push at the right time. You've won when both bosses are dead. Alright, some tank tips. Only tank the demon when necessary. If a DPS is about to pull aggro or Kalecgos is in danger of dying, but be vocal before taunting. The demon hits really hard and can quickly kill you if your healers aren't ready for the damage. If you're the last tank in the Dragon Realm, be ready to use cooldowns to survive the high arcane buffet stacks. Also make sure that Kalecgos remains perpendicular to the wall so that the raid doesn't get hit by breaths or a tail swipe. If you're currently tanking and receive the red wild magic buff, which is 50% reduced hit, be sure to call it so the DPS don't overthreat. Alright, some healing tips. Tank damage during the Dragon's Breath attack can spike pretty quickly. Be ready to spam big heals into the tank, especially when he gets high stacks of that arcane buffet. Similarly, if the tank in the Spectral Realm has to taunt the demon, be ready to spam big heals as the demon hits really hard and will periodically stun the tank. If you're a decursor, don't dispel before 15 seconds remaining or you're wasting globals and mana. And if you notice that you get the blue or green wild magic buffs, use them to your advantage. These can help catch up on a lot of the raid damage that's happening. And finally, some DPS tips. Do not pull aggro on the demon in the Spectral Realm. Early on in the Spectral Realm, it may be better for you to stop damage than force the tank to taunt. We want Kalecgos to tank the demon as long as possible due to his damage output. Save your cooldowns, including Lust, for the demon. Also consider swapping to Demon Slaying when in the Spectral Realm. If you're a decursor, don't dispel before 10 to 15 seconds left on the curse or you're wasting globals and mana. And beware of the black and white wild magic buffs as you risk pulling aggro very quickly. Alright, well that's the fight. Remember, when either hits 10%, they both enrage, and you should do everything you can to kill them both as soon as possible. Once they're dead, Kalecgos is freed of his corruptor, and you can move on to the infamous Brutalis. I'll be posting the boss guide for him next, so be sure to subscribe to see that in your feed. Thanks so much for tuning in, and good luck in Sunwell Plateau.